Hello Mouses, this one's going to be a bit of a controversial one. We're going to talk about the inquest and the results of the inquest into the police shooting of Mark Duggan in 2011, which you may remember started off all of the London riots. Now, this is controversial for two reasons. The first being that the jury of the inquest ruled that Mark Duggan didn't have a gun with him when he was shot by the police. However, they did rule that he had a gun with him before he got out of the taxi. So the part that started off being, well, the police are saying that he shot at them, but other people are saying that he didn't, and now it turns out that he didn't. And they're saying, well, he did have a gun with him. The police were there on a mission to remove the gun and get it off the streets, as they say. So the jury is saying he did have a gun with him, but not when he was out of the taxi. So he had it there, and they didn't. And the police found it in a field, and there's some people saying that the police planted it there, and some people saying that they didn't. And it's all of a big mess. We just don't know what happened, because there's only one eyewitness who wasn't on the police payroll, who was brought in for the inquest. So what happened? And he says that it was unnecessary for them to shoot him. So we just don't know. There's a lot of evidence, and if you do want to look at the evidence, I've linked to all of it on the inquest's website down in the info bar below. But we're going to move on. We've got this ruling that all 10 jurors say he did have a gun before he was shot, but he didn't have it according to what they ruled when he was shot. And of course the jury ruling on whether he had the gun with him when he was shot is a little less certain than with the previous ruling, where only 8 of them said they were certain, they were sure that he did not have it, and the others aren't. But moving on from that, it comes to the main issue. Were the police justified to shoot Mr. Duggan at the time? Now, you've got to remember that everyone in Britain has the right to use reasonable force to defend themselves or others, and police can go further than that. If they need to use force to prevent a crime, then they are entitled to do so under certain circumstances. So the jury had to determine, was it lawful for the police to shoot Mr. Duggan? Which essentially translates to, was it a lawful killing, was it an unlawful killing, or do we have to rule an open conclusion because there isn't enough evidence? Here's where it gets interesting. None of the jury said it was an unlawful killing. 8 of the jury said it was lawful, which essentially means that 8 out of the 10 jurors thought that the shooting was the use of reasonable force. But that's only 8. 2 of them ruled open conclusion. And this is essentially where it comes down to what I was talking about earlier, where there's only one eyewitness, and he wasn't saying the same thing as the police were. An open conclusion is due to a lack of evidence. There wasn't enough evidence to say yes or no. So this is it. This is the biggest problem. The inquiry is basically the police are saying one thing, this one guy is saying another, and who do you believe? Do you believe the police, who, unfortunately, there is going to be that thing in the back of your mind that says, oh, perhaps they're just all getting together and agreeing their story so that they can cover each other's backs because they're all knowing each other, aren't they? But this guy over here is saying something different, so who do we believe? All of this evidence here that police provided to help the police out, or this guy who we don't really know much out of? Like I say, you can look at the evidence yourself and make your own conclusion. I have linked to it. But this is not something that's going to go away lightly. It's already caused lots of riots. Well, to be honest with you, it caused a riot, and then a load of chavs and annoying people all jumped in and caused more riots. But at the same time, the police have to be able to use the weapons that they are given to stop people with guns. Yeah, in this situation, I don't think he did have the gun when he was shot. And that's a problem. It's a massive problem. And that has to be dealt with properly. Can we say that it's been dealt with properly? I don't think we can. It's not. The evidence is not conclusive. I would have been one of the jurors. If I'd been on that jury, I'd have been one of those who registered open conclusion, because I don't think there is enough evidence either way. But then again, I wasn't there in court to see it face to face, what was going on in the testimonies given. All we can do now is look at the evidence as it's presented, and that doesn't always give you all the information. So it's something that it's going to be controversial. It's going to remain controversial. It's very unfortunate that this can't just be laid to rest. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I hope you did like this. If you did, remember to click the like button and share it with your friends so that they can see what's been going on with this as well. And if you have an opinion on this, please do leave a comment in the comments bar and we'll get a discussion going and see what we can come up with there as well. And do subscribe for future videos because there will be more in the future. But until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching The Knob Mouse Show, and I'll see you tomorrow.